And welcome back to another episode of the Good Intentions Podcast. It's your girl, Queen Cass.
And it's your girl, Giddy Love. And once again, if this is your first time tuning in, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at The Good Intentions Podcast and on IG, Good Intentions Pod. Follow. Okay.
And I know this is not the setup y'all used to, but coronavirus, we making it work. Content, but we making it work. So, how was your week, Giddy Love?
My week was great, actually. I had a very relaxed weekend. Yeah. How was yours?
My week was great. Very relaxing, and I had a great red table talk to finish it off. Speaking of red table talk, you was not quiet.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I know last week we talked about red table talk. No, we didn't even talk about red table talk. We talked about the August and Jada situation, and we had a lot of assumptions. We had a lot of, I think this is it. So finally the Smith family came out and they shared their truth. And that's what we have to be very mindful of, is that's their truth. That's their story. That's what they want to put out.
So control the narrative, yeah.
Control the narrative. And they did that. They very much.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But I don't know, like, why anyone would expect anything different or expect more from them.
Jada and Will have been in the public eye for a long time. About 20 years. They know how to work what they have to work. One thing I like, they never went out and said they were in an open marriage relationship. They never said that. At most, they were like, we were having our issues, we were about to break up, we were about to separate, and then whatever happened. I think it was, to me, I was satisfied. To me, personally. I know a lot of people wanted more, but I think when you have kids, you have generational wealth, you have business ties. There's only so much you could share. And I think it's a very good job at taking ownership and expressing what they had to.
Right. And I think, too, it's because we glorify these celebrity relationships. So we forget that they go through struggles and challenges and marital issues just like any other person, you know? So the fact that they separated, which is completely normal in marriages, sometimes you don't know about it, it's indiscreetly, but it still happens. So once you separate with somebody, there's two options. You either figure it out, get back together, be like, well, we better together than apart, or you really cut it off. But it's a natural thing. It happens to all of us. But because we put everybody, like, if you're a celebrity, you're on this pedestal and it's like relationship goals and this and this and that, you forget that they're humans and they go through issues just like us. So, I don't know.
And I think for me, like, people were so, like, now put off by Jada and Will Love. For me, and I was telling someone, like, more than ever, I wouldn't say I admire, because they were never really goals for me, but I respected their relationship. Because when we talk about marriage, we talk about, I'm with you for the end. Through good times and bad times, we're going to figure out whatever it is. They did that. They were, at least from what they're explaining, they were at a point where they were about to break up. It was over. And they had to separate. And it's so unfortunate that August had to step in and be the person that helped heal their marriage. The rebound.
Yeah. But then again, it was consensual and he knew what he was getting himself into. And when you deal with married people, you just don't know. You might end up looking dumb at the end of the day. That's what happened.
Dealing with married people. This is what you came in, and once again, the way Will was explaining it, like he was done. It was it. And I could see how August could have been like, okay, this is my end. They're not going to ever work it out. It's going to be okay. And he probably like, fantasize like we do, we fantasize
Right.
about things. But when you're married with someone, not even just like romantically, financially, your assets, you have children, sometimes it's not worth breaking up. It's not worth it. The divorce can be more expensive.
Cheaper to keep them. And she said it herself. One episode, I think it was like the second episode of the Red Table Talk for the first season. It was just like, it's cheaper to keep me around. It's cheaper for us to be together. So.
And when you think, because marriage is a business venture, it is. And when you think about, they have a lot of money tied in together. And you, August, and it's so sad. Because yes, he had his trauma. Yes, he was weak. Yes, he was sick. But to me, it's like when dealing with married people, to me, once again, if you're not divorced, there's always an option of you going back. No matter what they're telling you, no matter what they're selling you. And let's be clear, Will was doing his own thing too, very much so. But August is the only one that's been running his mouth. That's the only one that's been public about it. That's why we're talking about it. We don't know what Will was doing. We don't know who Will used as character growth. We only know about August because he was vocal about it and hurt.
I think the only thing that really, I feel for August because he was very vulnerable and he was in a space where he really needed that love and
For sure.
just everything she was giving him. He was so damaged that it's like, I'm going to receive it, but I'm going to make up my own stories too.
Right.
And
the thing people don't realize is that Jada was equally as damaged. People don't realize that. People think that just because she wanted to heal him, that it was a power imbalance, and I personally don't think it is. The need to fix someone, the need to be a healer, codependency is an illness in itself. And the fact I was telling someone, like when you're secure, when you're dating someone that's secure, that's dealt with their trauma, and you're codependent, you don't know who you are. And then her kids were older. She was a great parent. They found their independence. They knew who they were. They left home. So now you don't have no kids to deal with. Your partner is healed and okay. Who are you? So I think Jada was equally as hurt, because when you talk about like inner child trauma, Jada never touched it. She never dealt with it. I think Jada and August were at a similar, August definitely lower, but they were both hurt people seeking out other hurt people.
That gravitated them towards each other. Hurting people hurt people, y'all.
And I think that's what their thing was. They were meshed. And I get that entanglement part. I get like the meaning. It was like, I'm drawn to you. You're drawn to me.
I'm sorry. That song is like every time somebody says that word, putting on under entanglement.
I get that. Like when you're codependent, I'm going to fix you. And he needed to be fixed. That's perfect for one another. But it wasn't, because Jada started to heal. And through that healing, she found herself back to Will. And poor August. Fuck, poor August.
I can only imagine, because every time he talks, you can tell mentally he's not there. So I'm pretty sure, like, watching the interview and just seeing that the person I gave my heart to, myself to, withholding nothing, like, just, you have me. Right. And then it's like, for you to go on Red Table Talks and talk about, oh, it was an entanglement. What? You're not gonna even call it for what it was?
A relationship.
Like, what?
But we had to be very mindful that this happened 4 years ago.
Right.
Or at least whatever timeline they've given us. Will and Jada have gone through therapy and they worked through it. So therapist probably gave Jada like words to use for what it was. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? True. So not to minimize the situation, but it's not new. It's not recent. They've dealt with it. And that's what a lot of people are like, oh, Will looks hurt. He looks sad. No, he looks annoyed that he had to bring out something into the public that he didn't want to. That's been dealt with in their marriage.
I
That's
really
what to
think
me,
I think he looked hurt.
You think so?
I think he looked seriously hurt. Like, he looked defeated. He was probably he looked beat. Like, this is somebody that I feel like he's been fighting for Jada for her love since the very beginning with Tupac, R.I.P.
Yeah.
But like, from him to now this and whatever else that happened in the middle that we don't even know about, it's like he's always fighting to get Jada. He's always fighting for her love. He's always fighting just to hold on to her.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's hurt because it's like, I'm always chasing after this person. It's always something. And then it's like, for him as a dude too, for him as a male, I think it's probably like embarrassing too, because I don't want the world to see my wife in that way. It's one thing for us to have our assumptions, but it's another thing for me to try to, as the provider, as the protector, I'm trying to control, to protect her legacy, to protect her reputation in a way. So for that to come out, now the world might view her different. And that to me is probably what might hurt him more than even the situation itself.
I get your viewpoint, and I'm really mindful in telling people that red table talk that they had about being life partners was earlier this year in January. So they just really like figured out themselves in a relationship. So for them to be like, so they've dealt with the August narrative in their own way. We just don't know what it was. But for me, I think Will is very secure in himself. I think he's very, very, very secure in a way that Jada had not been, because she had a lot more trauma. And I think for him, and he said it, like, I can't give you permission to do anything you want. You're the only person that gives yourself permission. So I think for him, at least in my perspective, for him, it was like, we've dealt with this. We've gone through this. We know what we are now. For someone to come out 4 years later to address something we've dealt with, that we've overcome, I'm annoyed. I'm fed up. Because once again, there's no way Will was not doing his own thing. There's no way.
Right. And I mean, they both agreed that he was doing his own thing. Like, he was doing his thing and with whomever, they made it clear that it wasn't like he was just sitting there being a saint and nothing happening. So he had his little dirt. Like you said, it just ain't come out.
We don't know what their separation agreement looked like. We just know that Jada's person that she was entangled with spoke out. We don't know what Will and Jada's agreement looked like. We don't know what NDA was signed. We just know August spoke out. So for us to sit there and be like, oh, poor Will, woe is Will, no, I don't believe that narrative at all.
I just hope there wasn't really an NDA signed, because, baby, if there was.
I don't think there was an NDA signed on Jada's part, because for NDAs, you could sign an NDA. But the thing about NDAs, you could break an NDA anytime, but you have to be able to, if they sue you, pay that amount of money. I mean, August makes enough money, but whatever Jada and Will would require not to break an NDA would be more expensive. I don't think he signed an NDA.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Would you sign an NDA if you were dealing with a celebrity?
I think if I had to, I would. Yes.
I agree. I would. Because, for example, 50 Shades of Grey, he made her sign an NDA. I know it's a movie, but he was someone, at least in that fictional world, who had power, who had money, who had things to lose.
A lot to lose, yeah.
Things to lose.
Mm-hmm. Beyonce, she don't do nothing without an NDA, baby. No.
NDAs, you can break them at any time, but do you have the money if you're sued? And
I'm broke, and this podcast is not paying me, y'all. So
Yeah,
it's a hobby.
I think Jada was so broken at that time. I think she was equally as hurt as August. A lot of people think that just because she was trying to heal, that it was like a power dynamics, but her need to heal came from trauma. It came from wanting to know, I need to be needed. I need to heal. That's not normal. I think she was as equally damaged.
But it's been said so many times, like you being a therapist, like deep-seated issues and trauma don't go away, and it's gonna resurface, and you have to reveal it. Like you can't heal something that you don't reveal, and it's so important. Like whatever it is, if you don't deal with it, it's going to come back, and when it comes back, it might just like just just permeate the whole space and just
Right. Like you can put things like as band-aids to like, hide it. You could get married, you could have children, but when your children leave, like we talked about, when your husband has other movies to shoot and you're by yourself in a home, you have to sit there with yourself. And she said in the movie, I wanted to feel good. And we talked about love languages, apology languages. Those are things that no matter how good your relationship is, if someone's not speaking your language, it does not matter. So if someone needs to be wanted, they need to feel like without me, you're not there. And you have a secure partner who is not giving you that because they're okay without you. You don't know who you are without that.
But I think I can't remember word for word, but I think Will had tweeted recently or something that like it's not my job to make you happy.
Yes.
I'm with you. I want to add to your happiness. I want to add to your life. But my duty as your partner is not to make you happy.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, it's being more aware and really coming into a relationship when you're whole, when you're happy, when you're able to just add to somebody else's, be their peace. That's very important.
About relationships now more than ever now in therapy. Like for me, I realize I'm very compatible with people. Like I'm easy, me, I'm easy to get along with. So I could see how I could match up with different people. But just because I can be with someone doesn't mean I have to. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people, but mind you, I'm going to therapy. Some people don't realize they need to go to therapy. Some people don't realize they have so much work that they need to do. So for them, it's like, okay, that's the first person that ever loved me thoroughly. I'm no matter what. But that's not the case. And now you have children with that person.
You notice a few red flags? Go. If it's not, go.
It's like a secure person versus an insecure person. When you see red flags and you go, it's like when you see red flags and you leave.
Oh yeah.
It's like I see your red flags, but I don't want to deal with that. You can deal with anything you want to. You can.
But, yeah.
Our parents did it. Our grandparents did it. You can deal with literally anything, but just because you can doesn't mean you should have to.
Even for me now, like in my personal life, just seeing the journey that I've gone through within the last couple of years and seeing where I'm at today and how I'm able to identify some of the red flags and be like, this is early on. We're just dating. Nothing's happening. I'm leaving.
Right.
I'm not going to put up with this right now. I don't have to. But then again, I'm secure in myself, in the woman that I am today. Back then, I see a red flag. Dang, it's okay. I can fix it. He'll change. Like, give him about 3 months. I'll get him to act this way. I'm not fixing no one. Because each day I'm taking steps to be a better version of myself. And if you're not there or you're not close to being there, please do not come and disturb my peace. Do not do that.
And that's another thing I was talking to, like love and being attracted to someone or being compatible. That's not enough for a relationship. And I personally, once again, I don't aspire to be Will and Jada, but I can admire and I can observe what they did right. Because once again, their only option was divorce or going back together. And it sucks that it had to be another person, but we do that as humans. When we go through a breakup, we have rebounds. When we want to have a good time, we have someone we call. You know what I'm saying? It sucks that we use people for our own healing, but we do that. We do. And it sucks that for Jada, August was just a chapter to get back to Will. And for August, she was a whole book, a whole like theme. You know what I'm saying? It sucks.
I think too, like, I'm glad you said that, and that's going to take this conversation to a whole different place. I think too, it's just like, as individuals, you have two options. Like, you can take the situation and be like, okay, this was a learning experience for me. And then you move on, you do bigger and better things, knowing that it was a great chapter and you learned a lot from it. Or you can be stuck in that chapter and just not refuse to let it go. And I think that's happening. I think like we're able to see it from both perspectives, where it's like this person was able to move on from this. The other person is stuck still in that chapter and is refusing. At this point, I think it's just, I love this pain. It's like self-inflicted pain that he's loving it. Because it's like, if I could die today, it's okay. I like, no, you're choosing to be in that state.
And with August, like, granted, I don't know his full background, but with trauma, like, you like pain. That's what you're used to. That's what you know. That's what's familiar. So to him, it's like, it hurts, but it felt good. Because once again, like, we're dealing with the Smiths after the fact. We're dealing with this whole situation after the fact.
After
We
they're
don't know
healed.
how Will and Jada dealt with it. They talk about therapy, they had conversations. We don't know what they had to do to get over something. And it's not like it was an easy thing because Will still has resentment. That I could tell. He still has resentment towards the situation for sure. Because he's made it clear like August came into our lives for help regarding his health, It was never
Was the
supposed
friend of the son. So it wasn't even on like no romantic type of shit. Like the whole family befriended this guy. So there's probably a little bit of betrayal there too.
Right, his children were close with August. So of course there's like betrayal, there's this and the third. But once again, when you're married, and that's what blows me, people glorify marriage. That's what marriage, if that's y'all definition of marriage, that's what marriage is. We're gonna figure out no matter what, no matter who, it's me and you, no matter whatever the fuck. So that's why I said to me more than ever, like the Will and Jada is like, all right, life partnership. But they don't mean you have to stick it out if you don't want to deal with that. I get that. But from how they explained, they were at a point where it was going to be over. I don't know.
Like, I don't know.
I have a lot of unknowns. I don't know all the facts.
Yeah.
Both parties are speaking their own truth, whatever that looks like. But to me, it's very sad and unfortunate for August. But once again, I was telling someone like August's story is not unique. He's not the only person that's ever gone through anything like that. He's not.
Go ahead, sister. Go ahead. Say it again because it's not.
Not.
He's not.
And some people have gone through the same thing as him and they did not put themselves in a situation like that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm such a big like you're either a victim or a victor.
Yeah.
And when it comes to things like that, like trauma is real. I get that. And some people don't know how to deal with their trauma. I get that. But for you to sit there, woe is me, I was preyed on. That narrative is tough for me to handle.
Another thing is, I don't think he lacks resources. Like, he has access to a lot more resources than a lot of us have access to. And he's still not really reaching out to get the appropriate help that he needs from a professional. Not
They forget that he don't want to go to therapy. He wants to work it out by himself. And I'm gonna tell y'all right then and there, that's not it. You can't figure stuff out by yourself because you have like trauma lenses on. You have hurt lenses on. You don't have someone who could call you out on your own bullshit.
You're sitting there feeling sorry for yourself. Like,
Yeah.
what is that
That's
gonna
the
solve?
always me. I was picked on mentality. No one, that's not real in the real life. People are not gonna look at you like that. And it's like I sympathize a lot with August. I empathize. I get it, but that's not enough. It's not enough to me.
I agree. I definitely agree. And it's everybody's gone through shit.
And once again, it sucks that it had to be August that helped their marriages get back together. But it seems like, and they transcended marriage. They went to life partnership. People were clowning that, oh, we ride together, we die together, bad marriage for life. That was just a play on word. But to how I see how they move, they're not going anywhere.
Oh, no. Definitely not.
They
Definitely
won't.
not. They're
It's
not
not
leaving
what
each
you
other.
want. And Will said that. Like that security you feel knowing that someone is not leaving you. You could make your mistake. You could be your full authentic self. And that's what they let their kids be. They let their kids be their full authentic self. Never letting, I'm still gonna love you no matter what. That takes a lot of growth.
It takes a lot of growth, a lot of maturity, a lot of communicating. I love and I admire, I respect the way that they communicate so openly with one another.
And even at the red table, Will was calling her out on her ish. You know what I'm saying? It was not an entanglement. You were in a relationship. He was calling her out.
I think too a little bit of that was once again them controlling the narrative and just knowing that like I'd rather me call you out than have like everybody else calling you out being like, what the heck?
For sure. But
Yeah.
even giving them the time to control that narrative, because no one else had nothing else to say. That's the thing. No one else could say something else but them. That whole situation is messy. It's unfortunate. And once again, and I keep saying, like, but therapy is such a luxury. Like, we have that luxury that we're aware, we're educated. We know about these types of trauma. We know, but I don't know. Moving forward, what do you think August next step is going to be?
He's gonna go hiding again, like he always does. But I think really, if he goes in a hiatus, like he really needs to seek the appropriate treatments and help that he desperately needs so that he can just be able to move forward with his life and really allow himself to love and to allow himself to receive that love, that real genuine love where it's like, I'm not sharing this person with somebody else. This is my person. This is my spouse, my life partner, whatever he chooses to do or call, whatever label he wants to put on it. But really, he needs to open himself up to receive that. But first, you have to heal. And for that process, it's going to be painful. It's going to suck. It's going to hurt. But he really needs to take that time and just heal himself fully.
I agree. I think there's a lot of healings. It sounds like the Smith, once again, it sounds like they've done their own healing, but once again, they have the resources, they have the money, and they're older and more educated on the importance of mental health.
Yeah, I agree, but I feel like if he has access to them like that, or he had access to them the way that he did, I'm pretty sure he had access to the same resources.
Sure.
He could have made that happen if that's the route that he wanted to go. But he was more looking for a relationship with somebody who wasn't available. Did you? This a little. Did you see him responding to Kiki?
And I had to go back and look at Kiki tweet because I was like, maybe I missed something.
I think it's like when you in school and somebody's picking on you and you just know I can't go after the bully, but the person is like, ha ha. It's like, what you ha-haing about? Like the person that you know you can bark back at. I feel like that's what he was doing.
And Kiki responded very gracefully. She always does very well. Good job.
Yeah. She's
Because
really good.
at the end of the day, you're hurt dog. You know what's like saying hurt dog's gonna holler? Everyone gonna go down. And because imagine like you refer to someone that I'm ready to die for that person. I'm ready to die happy because I experienced that love, a piece of that love of that person. And the person says, I was just an entanglement. That's hurtful. That's fucking, okay? That's painful.
That's the shit that will really make you just.
That's painful, but it's life. And we have to act like we're not holier than that. Like we've used people for rebounds. I know I have. I've used rebounds.
We've probably been used, and
I've been used as a rebound.
Yeah.
It's life. It sucks. It's not fair, but Jada looked like she got herself. She said it. She got herself together. She felt good. She felt needed. Yeah, poor August. Moving forward.
High for a lot of people to feel needed, to feel like you matter.
Yeah.
You're important.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think it was just a messy situation from the start. I think that I don't know the full details, so I can't give a full, we can't give a full thing, but from what we're getting told, Jada had her own issues too. And she's been very open about it. To be honest, Jada was just as wounded as August, just differently.
But I mean, just moving forward, just how do you plan on being more intentional? Because this is a lesson for all of us. We all have been Jada or August. So
I think for me now more than ever, I'm going to dig deeper in my therapy sessions. Like, what are my childhood trauma? What are some hurts I carry with myself? Who do I think I am versus how people see me? And I've started doing that. Like, who do you think I am? I've asked my little that the other day, and she was describing me, and I was like, whoa, that's not how I think of myself at all. Like, I have lower expectations of myself than what she was telling me, because and I realized I've always been showing up as a project. I've always been showing up as broken, as hurt. And that's not who I am. I think the main thing is being healed. And understand that healing is a constant journey. But when you start picking at your inner child, you start questioning your inner child. Why do you think that? Why do you think everyone's a liar? Why do you think, what is the truth? A lot of it comes down to doing your own work. And that's all I can do. Because I can't ask my partner to do that for me. I can ask my friend. Only thing I can do is my own work for myself. And that's all I can do.
I totally agree. I agree with that completely. I think even we had a conversation recently, and you told me something that was really a trigger for me, but it helped me in such a way that I went back and I had to reevaluate the whole situation. Literally that night I could not sleep because you were just like, that's a feature. That's like, I don't even think you remember that. You were just like, that's what can you do with that? I just kept insisting like, but this, you can't do nothing with that. What, like, you're not telling me anything of substance. And I was just like, okay, why do I think that way? Like, why? I really had to sit there the entire night and try to figure it out. And that was just, it wasn't sweet at all. It was very ugly. But yeah, we really got to search within a lot more and find out the reasons behind our actions.
And that's why more than ever, it's like, yeah, I could be in a relationship, but do I want to be? Like, I want to show up healed. Right. I want to show up secure. I want to show up my authentic best self. And until I feel I can do that, no matter how great of a person you are, I know how my insecurities show up. I'm not going to do that to us.
You're the potential of something that could have been really great. Yeah. I totally agree. I'm getting there.
And we're getting there. Once again, therapy is a luxury, but if you don't have access to therapy, I would tell you to journal. I love journaling.
Yeah.
And that's when I found my old high school diary. I don't know if I told you, I found my old high school diary. And I was reading it and I was laughing. It was funny, but at one point I started crying because how I was in my high school relationship was how I was in my last relationship.
Oh my gosh.
It was the same thing, that same fluctuation of emotion, that same I'm done. And then, okay, I'm okay. You know what I'm saying? That same like my whole mood depended on them. And I want better for myself. And until I'm there, no matter how much I think I want something, I'm not gonna do it. I can't.
Totally
And I
agree,
know.
man. Totally agree. That is growth. That is growth. And you guys are just witnessing us go through our journeys ourselves and our growth, and just seeing us blossom
Yeah.
into continue to blossom
Mhm.
into like wonderful women who are
Mhm.
just going to have like the best relationships when we are ready. So stay tuned.
Yeah, it's coming. We're doing the work now, so
Yes.
excited for the future. I'm excited, and I'm glad we had that conversation with Will and Jada because I got to see different viewpoints. I got to see be beyond the traditional man and woman, beyond the oh cheating it's over type thing. You know what I'm saying? I got to see how people redeem themselves.
And I
Got to.
like that we got to see it from a woman's perspective, because oftentimes in society it's always the men who's doing the mess up,
Mm-hmm.
whose dirt get leaked, you know. It's rarely the wife. So the
And
fact that the roles were reversed,
right.
that was really good. It was an eye-opener, and it's just showing you that don't glorify anybody's relationship, regardless if it's a celebrity or a friend. You
Mm-hmm.
don't know what goes on within that relationship. Like, work on yourself, work on your relationship, work on your marriage, whatever you're in right now, work on that. You
Mm-hmm.
know, don't focus on what, because they
No.
could fake it. They could.
They could fake it, and you don't know what's behind
Funk.
closed door. You only see their good, and that's what everything. You only see the good part. You don't know how long Jada was up crying. You don't know. You don't know what Will was going through. You just saw the happy couple that they had to do because of deals, because of contracts. They had to come out together. There's more to life than that. And now more than ever, we're raising children. You're raising a child. I'm going to be doing my own. I want my child to see healthy relationships, healthy friendships, healthy love, healthy self love.
Girl, my child is witnessing this now. And I gotta tell you guys, like, not to brag about myself, but I'm really proud of where I'm at right now in my life. Like, y'all only see the little 30 minutes or however long the episodes are. So you don't know the behind the scene and how I've been moving. And I'm so proud of myself.
You should
I'm
be.
so happy. Y'all, I'm glowing. Okay, y'all see this foundation? I am glowing.
You are. What foundation? You got foundation on, sis?
Oh, you see, I'm glowing. No, it's natural. I am glowing. No, for real though. Like, it's a different glow, and it's just everybody around you can see it.
And
Like,
the thing is, for me, therapy or like healing yourself, once you start healing yourself, you heal everyone around you.
I had somebody tell me, like, literally, I had multiple people actually tell me this, and I don't know if it's really a compliment, but I took it as such. They were telling me, like, just by looking from the outside in where I'm at in my life right now, it's going to be really hard for me to just settle for just anybody. They're like, you're rocking it, you're doing it independently, and it's just somebody got to bring something more to the table, you know? And I'm open for a relationship. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like, oh, I'm independent. INDE. You know, I'm not that at all, but you gotta bring real stuff to the table. I'm not settling for nothing less, because
Like
this
now,
work I'm doing for you to take me right back to where I was 2 years ago. Excuse me, boo boo.
because it's like
Excuse no.
red flags are redder now. I could deal with it, but I don't want to because I know I'm at my bare minimum right now. I'm not at my peak yet. So if you coming in, you not at your peak, and I'm already doing so much at my less peak. What you don't? No,
Yeah.
no, no.
But anyways, y'all, Thank you for
Thank
listening
you
to
so
us.
much for listening. I think the main goal is I see a lot of questions. What do you think your partner should be doing? Who should split rent? Do what works for you.
Yes.
What brings you peace? Like I'm fine. I'm at peace. Like when I look, I'm at peace, and I'm at peace with stuff that I would not have been at peace with literally 2 months ago, and that's okay because this peace I feel now is undescribable, indescribable. It's mine, and all the pain I went through is worth it, to be honest, for what I'm feeling right now. Ugh, gross. But honestly, the Will Jada August situation, I don't know. They're gonna figure it out, but figure out yourselves first and figure out yourself. Whew, y'all, thank y'all so much for listening to us rambling. Thank y'all so much. Don't forget to follow me at QueenCast_X3.
Me at Giddy Love J1 and our Good Intentions podcast on IG at Good Intentions Pod and also on YouTube at The Good Intentions Podcast, y'all. We also have a Facebook page too if y'all still use it.
Yeah, if you're still on Facebook. Thank y'all so much for listening. Bye.
Toodles.